Well, I want to welcome you to another episode of Body Moves and Breakthroughs. And today, really, I'm going to just share a little bit of guidance, ponderings, noticings, listening, and do a little beach walk with you. So I just want to encourage you to, first of all, just be here now. Wherever that here is for you, whatever the present circumstance has you in, I ask you to notice what you notice. Maybe wiggle your toes. Take a deep breath. What do you smell? What do you hear? What is asking for your presence in this moment? Yeah. Presence and ponderings. I'm reflecting on a couple of what I'll call really intentional interactions this week, conversations with folks who are really leaning into how they want to show up differently in their work as founders and leaders and change makers and visionaries who recognize that the world we're living in right now is calling us to be and to embody different ways of being. So when I think about what lessons are there for us, think about things like, really noticing, like, what are we rooting deeply into right now? As the world continues to pick up speed, what are we rooting into? What are the values, the beliefs that we really find, I might even say comfort in? How are we caring for ourselves and others in a world that can feel pretty fragmented? Noticing how quiet it is in this place. Noticing the rhythm of the waves and the healing power of the ocean. And really just thinking about the lessons of nature and of this land. Everything is so interconnected, and really, I believe, trying to teach us lessons about more relational ways of being in our work, in our relationships, in our friendships. I had a couple of really interesting conversations yesterday with founders who I would call, very regenerative founders. They're really not interested in working in the systems that have got us to here. They're really working on solutions and practices and transformative ways of being that are going to help us take next levels of healing. And I'm going to say alignment. I just want to recognize those two founders who are just bravely walking forward in new ways. You know, the thing that comes through both of them, just going to give it a little break here. The thing that comes through both of them is just new ways of being. Yeah. And how refreshing that is, you know? I can feel the care. I can feel the love. And I can actually feel the light coming from both of them. Yeah, wow. More of that, please. I think in terms of a breakthrough for today, I want to ask you to think about what really matters the most to you right now. Like, what absolutely matters big time. And is that evident in your life? Is what you say matters? Is that obviously evident in your life? I think a lot about what we call the integrity gap in our work. And a lot of our work really, whether that is through the transformative guidance work we do, the orientations, the conversations, the gatherings, whether it's through regenerative storytelling and narrative shifting projects, you know, how are we closing that integrity gap right now? Both individually, it's got to start there, individually and collectively, because yeah, we've got a choice, and that choice is the gap can continue to widen or the gap can close. And what we prioritize every day speaks to that gap. You know, it's funny because I can have a conversation or a meeting with someone. I get a lot of referrals or introductions or requests that people would like to chat with me, and I'm always open for a conversation because I really think that that's how energy moves. That is how we connect. And I really do my best to try to tap into, in the energy of a conversation, listening for the priorities that want to come through. And I listen to folks who are talking about, you know, what really wants to come through for them, what they really feel called to do or to create or to lead or to change. And it's really a priority that they're, in some cases, trying to shift or lift. And in some cases, just helping them to kind of find more congruence and coherence between that priority and the actions they're actually taking. You know, that's the interesting piece. So I think the reflection today that I would encourage you to think about is what are the priorities? What are your priorities? And is it possible to embody ways of being today that really demonstrate those priorities more authentically, more relationally, and more intentionally today? That would be the guidance. Thank you for joining me for a little morning walk, and I really hope that you have an amazing, amazing day.